Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Cerise Fairfax, and this is a Sunday Sousua Spotlight. As I do the voiceover, we're going to look at Pedro Clisante, located in this beautiful, picturesque beach town of Sosua on the north coast of the Dominican Republic in a province by the name of Puerto Plata. Right now, there is a national human rights investigation that has just been announced in Sosua. We're going to talk about that tonight and a couple of stories as well to fill you guys in what's going on in Sosua. And I don't want this to destroy your image of Sosua. Sosua is beautiful and it is going through changes. A lot of people are like, oh my gosh, Sosua is changing so drastically, so differently. Yes, it's changing. It is. However, anything that's changing always takes time, and there's going to be growing pains. So although these changes are happening, Sosua and the province itself, Puerto Plata, is looking deeply into the change and how it's evolving and how people can come in and help from all around the province. The Dominican Committee of Human Rights says that it's sending in a commission led by its national president, Professor Virgilio Almanzar, to the province of Puerto Plata and the municipality of Sosua. What's the goal? To examine the many complaints and reports of human rights violations in Sosua. This comes at a time when two stories, one violent and one humiliating, have stirred debate just in the last week among locals and visitors. So why is Sosua under review? Sosua's image, it's complicated. On one hand, it's a tourist paradise. On the other hand, it's often linked to sex tourism and exploitation. To address these problems, the government has been carrying out police sweeps and raids, sometimes with dramatic results. People arrested and even cases of trafficking exposed. But here's the other side. Many locals say innocent people are being caught in the dragnet. They believe women in particular are being unfairly judged and mistreated simply because of Sosua's reputation. It's this tension between law enforcement and human rights that has brought Professor Almanzar and the National Commission to Sosua. The first story we're going to talk about right now is a little bit violent. So, it's not too bad. It's not murder or anything like that, but it is something that's making story headlines. And it started as a private disagreement, but quickly became public news here in Sosua. A young woman believed to be involved in sex work got into an argument with a foreign tourist about money. The dispute escalated, and according to police, she attacked the tourist with a sharp object. It looks something like scissors in the photo that I saw. And then a local security guard, Ramon Pina, tried to step in and stop the fight. But in the process, he was also injured. And later, the police filed charges against the woman. The tourist's identity hasn't been released. For many people in Sosua, this incident is highlighting the risks that come with unregulated sex tourism. When a woman does not get paid the amount that she wants, she gets angry and she may lash out. For others, it showed how vulnerable women are when caught between desperate circumstances and dangerous encounters. Some women are saying, some locals are saying, well, she should have got paid for her services. Why wasn't she paid? And quite often, tourists that do come here for the sex tourism will agree on a price, but then they change their mind. Or sometimes drinking is involved and disagreements happen, and the story goes on and on and on. And because this story is happening right now, when the Human Rights Commission is preparing its visit, it's really fueling fresh debate. Now, was this purely a criminal matter, or is it part of a much larger problem about how women and tourists interact in Sosua? Let's talk about the second story, because this is the humiliating story. The second story is very different, but equally powerful. A young woman, a married student from Sousua, says she was arrested during one of the police sweeps. Officers accused her of being a prostitute, but she insists she is not. In the video she shared online, she told her story, saying she was simply out in town when she was picked up. For her, the humiliation was not just personal, but it was public. Her reputation, her dignity, and her safety were all affected. Her story really resonated with locals because it seemed to confirm some of their fears that police are profiling women simply for being in the Sosua streets, not because of actual crimes. She was a student, or she is a student, a university student. She's married. She's from Sousua. She was simply in the Sosua streets, which a lot of women are doing now, because before they wouldn't be in the streets if they were professionals, because they did not want to be confused as a sex worker. So now that the streets are getting cleared out, a lot of Dominican women, Sosua women, are going into the streets in the evenings and talking and hanging out at bars now because of the cleanup. So now, what is supposed to be done? The women can't go out? This is what a lot of people are saying. Now, the National Commission is preparing its investigation, and a lot of the locals hope this young student's experience will be reviewed. Her case could become a test of whether the authorities are protecting rights or overstepping them. Also, let's go back to the official announcement. The Dominican Committee of Human Rights has said clearly, "We hereby inform you that the National Commission of the Dominican Committee of Human Rights of the Dominican Republic for the province of Puerto Plata and also for the municipality of Sousua will be led by the national president, Licenciado, and Professor Virgilio Almanzar. This visit is due to all the complaints and reports of violations of human rights in this municipality of Sousua. The Central Regional Directorate of Cibao will receive the commissions in Puerto Plata. In simple terms, that means Sousua is getting the attention of the highest human rights body in the country. This isn't just local police or city officials anymore. It's a national level review. The commission will gather information about how raids are being carried out, whether people are being treated fairly, and whether cases like this student's wrongful arrest are isolated or mistakes of a pattern. For residents, this represents hope that justice and fairness can exist side by side. Now, here's why people believe human rights are at risk. Here are some of the main reasons locals and observers say human rights must be looked at in Sousua. 1, broad sweeps. Okay, a lot of people feel that arrests are too general and they're catching innocent bystanders. 2, profiling of women, especially young women who are judged based on appearance or location. 3, transparency gaps, little information about what happens after the arrests. And 4, the community impact. Sousua residents feel stigmatized as if everyone is guilty until proven innocent. When you add the violent incident, the students' humiliation, and years of complaints, the case for a formal investigation becomes clear. Sousua is at a crossroads, guys, and it is a town of beauty, history, and tourism. But it is also a place where issues of exploitation, policing, and human rights now collide. With the National Commission arriving from Puerto Plata, the hope is that truth will be uncovered, dignity restored, and justice applied fairly. Not just to tourists, but to residents as well. A lot of people think that Sousua is just about the women, and fair enough. It has been for many years, but the government wants this place to be about family tourism and tourists that want to come here and really enjoy a vacation. They want to, start new, they want to bring in people from the cruise ships already, not this weekend, but the weekend before, they had trolleys that came in from Puerto Plata, and it was like a bus, and they came from Puerto Plata, and they came all the way here to Sousua, and it was like a party bus, but it was like a trolley, and it looked fun, and people were hanging out on the streets. It was crowded. It was cool as well. So I can see more of that happening and more families coming in, but it will take a long time. And in the meantime, there's going to be some bumps in the road, and there's going to be some bubbles bursted. It's nice to see that the locals and the law enforcement and the Human Rights Commission can all come together and say, hey, what is going on? Let's really look, because during this cleanup, which seems so important to the government, sometimes there are lost messages. Is law enforcement going overboard a little bit? Or are they really doing the job that they were directed to do? In the meantime, the colonel is also being investigated right now. That story is something that I will bring to you guys as it unfolds, because I don't have the full details now, and it's still somewhat obscure. But for now, this is the Sousua Spotlight on this Sunday, and I thank you so much for being here. Please go ahead and subscribe. Let me know that you like this video by hitting that thumbs up button. And listen, come on into Sousua. All of this sounds like it's a little crazy and wild, wild west, but it's really not. As you can see, the streets right here, I'm filming as I'm sitting down and chilling out, and that's along Pedro Clisante, the street that they said that they're cleaning up. This is very early in the morning. It is on a Thursday morning at around 10 o'clock. So as you can see, there's not a lot of traffic, but I am at the top of Pedro Clisante, not all the way down on the corner. Throughout my videos, I do like to show you guys the streets, because I want you guys to see what's going on, so you know that all of these reports are just in between reports, information to give to you, because I know you guys love Sousua, and not all of you are here right now, and you like to keep up to date. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. Huge hugs, loads of love, and big blessings, and we'll be covering this story. I'll be giving you more information on this. The date right now for the National Human Rights Commission has not been set, but as soon as that happens, I will let you know. Huge hugs. Bye. Enjoy your day.